Hi, I'm Dr. Mohua Bhattacharjee. I'm doing Ricardian theory of rent, and in which we have said that it is a scarcity rent, and now we are going to say that it is only in the case when the land is scarce and it is perfectly inelastic, and the land is, we are not talking about the quality of land, then we got it that as till the land is fully utilized, there is no question of rent. But when it has been fully and above it has been utilized, more demand for the corn goes on, then with the increase of the demand, the corn price, and so the rent will be going higher. But now we are coming into that rent is a surplus over the cost of production. So now what is this? This is nothing but, the question is that this is, he has assumed perfectly competitive market, and so these are the price lines. This is the price line 1, and this is price line 2, and this is your price line 3. And so now, and this is our marginal cost curve. So this price line is intersecting the marginal cost curve, and we are getting the equilibrium E1, E2 and E3. And with this intersection of the E1, E2, E3, we get the equilibrium quantity of employment Q1, Q2, Q3. But now the question is that what is rent here? The rent is the surplus over the cost of production. So the cost of production has been shown by the average cost. Now if the price goes down to OP1, there will be no, this is the point where it is touching the average cost and it is equal to the marginal cost, and it is fully equal. But if the prices goes up to P2 and P3, you can see that these at the price P3, this is the revenue, or this is the rent which is being earned. And if the price goes down to P2, then this is the rent which is earned. So now this is the question, that rent arises as a surplus over the cost of production, which we have done it in the market, in a perfectly competitive market, and it is the earning which has been called as a supernormal profit or as a profit. This is something which can be also termed in the factors of production earning as a rent, and it is called as a surplus over the cost of production, and the cost of production is something which has been determined by the AC curve. But now this is something which lots of confusions, lots of critics came up, and it is said that the land is not of homogeneous quality. All the lands are of different quality. Some lands are more productive, some lands are less productive. Then how come you can say that the land will be scarce and your corn production output demand will go on increasing and you will be putting rent? That is not that simple. If all lands are of different quality, then this theory of inelastic curve, cutting the demand curve, will not give you the solution. We have to take into consideration that land arises due to the differentiated quality of land. So that's why Ricardo came up with a theory which is called the differentiated rent theory, in which he has given a very good example, in which he says that let us assume that there is an island, and in the island it is assumed that the best quality of the land has been chosen by the population, and that is A. The A quality of land has been fully cultivated, and with time, due to any reasons, either for migration or for the demographic reasons, whatever reason, the population of the island has increased, and so automatically the land B also started to be cultivated. So now the point is that when the land A was the best, it was best, and when B has started to cultivate, B is relatively poorer in quality than A. So automatically the production of or the cost of the B will be higher. So A land will be earning a surplus over the cost of the B land. So B in this case is a marginal land and A is the intra-marginal land. So the intra-marginal land earns rent and the marginal land does not earn rent, because the marginal land is the one in which whatever it is earning is equal to the cost of production. So MC is equal to MR, and AC is cutting that MC equals to MR point, and so there is no additional revenue which is earned by the B land. But this cost will be in relation to A for A it will be less. So for A in relation to B, A will be earning rent which is difference to the cost of the B. So if B's cost is 100 and A's cost was 60, so 40 is something which is less for A. And so that's why the difference between the cost of production of marginal land to the intermarginal land, that part, that difference of the cost will give a rent to this A land. So now the question is that how long it will continue? It is said that till all the land been utilized and till all the worst land has got into cultivation, this process will go on and on. So now suppose again the population has increased and so additional more people has entered. So now what will happen? A C quality land also will be brought into cultivation, and in this case C will become marginal, and in relation to C, B's cost of production is less. So B or land also will be will be earning an additional revenue over the cost of the marginal rent of C. And similarly A will be earning now more rent because C's cost of production is much higher. So this way it is said that this is called differentiated rent. When the rent is taken into consideration, the differences in the quality of production, differences in the quality of its input, and then the rent, the difference of the earning which arises in relation to the last marginal land, that this now in this case is what is happening. C is your marginal land, A and B is your intramarginal land. So this is something, so that's why it is rent is something which will be determining the price, and so that's why price is not predetermined. The marginal land price, marginal land's cost will be the cutoff, and it will be the limit which will be determining what rent the A and B will be earning. So this is called the differentiated rent, and it is something which we can show it as if we show three diagrams together, and as we have just explained it, and we put the three diagrams together here, 1, 2 and 3, and this is suppose the worst land, and this and this, and now this is something which is the marginal land, and so this land does not earn any rent. This is C grade land, and that's why it's called the marginal land. Now in this, what is happening? This is your marginal cost cow in this B grade land, and so its cost of production will be relatively less, and so that's why this is a part of the rent which will be earned by the B land. But again for A, this is the limit, and this is the additional cost, the average cost, and so that's why this is the revenue which the A land will be earning. So this way this revenue is called the rent of A land, this is the rent of B land, and this is no rent land. This is also called no rent land, that is the land which is not earning any rent, and it is also called the marginal land, and this too is called the intramarginal land. So this way we have explained two things. One is scarcity rent, another is called the differentiated rent. So the differentiated rent is something which arises because of the land is differences in quality. Scarcity rent arises because the land is of homogeneous quality. Thank you.